is ending today. Yeah. So without taking much of our time, I believe your notepad is beside you and you are ready for the training. So let's begin the training. Thank you. All right. So now let's continue from where we have stopped yesterday. Now, yesterday we looked at few things on how to join your table. And then yesterday we looked at how to join two database from how to join two database, different database, and then different table. In other words, we joined a table in a database and another table from another database together. And this was how we did it. We got our results. We joined this particular database and the table with this customer name database with this database as well, using our primary key to do the joining. And then we looked at compound join. Move on, class, ma. Yes, ma. And if you look at compound join, and then if you look at compound join, I said that compound join is you are joining a table from the same database, and then you are using and to join the table with two primary keys. So compound join is a joining that we do, is a joining that we always make use of, through primary keys to join them together. And then we used ID and then product ID. We also looked at implicit join syntax. And if you look at implicit join syntax, I said that a database, a single database that has two tables. So this is the name of the table, and then where detail.id is equal to customer.id. So here, when we want to use implicit join syntax, we normally make use of where. And also, we look at union join. And if you look at union join here, we are dealing with we are also dealing with a single database, and then you are joining when you write a query from a single database and another query from that same single database, and then you apply your where clause to each query, and you want to see the joining of the two queries that you have just filtered, and then we'll make use of our union join. And if I hit it now, it will return back this to us. Also, we looked at using, and if you look at the word using, now we said using can be used to replace on. When we say select start from database table, join the second table on sales.id on customer.id equals to detail.id, and then you get your results. Now I said that instead of us to use on, then we can make use of using, but there is a limitation when it comes to using, there's a limitation. And what is the limitation? Now, the limitation is if you only make use of using will only work for you when you have a primary key of the same column. Using will only work for you when you have a primary key of the same column. So it means that if you have a table 1 and your table 2, and you have ID on inside your table 1, and you also have ID inside your table 2, then using will work for you. But if you have ID in your table 1 and you have column, you have customer ID in your table 2, since they are different, it will not work. It will not work because the primary keys on each table are not the same. So using will not work. That's the limitation. Rather, you will make use of on and then the two primary keys. Note that. And lastly, yesterday when I was doing the assignment, I encountered an error when I was trying to show the table I the table I created yesterday, the database I created before inputting my data. So it should be DASC, then DASC salesperson, not DASC table. You know, salesperson is a table, right? But it should be DASC salesperson. DASC salesperson, your semicolon, enter, and then it will bring in your table that you're about to populate. So note that DASC salesperson, not DASC table. So today we'll continue from outer join, and then we are going to look at left join and right left outer join and then right outer join. That's what we are going to look at now. Now, what is left outer join? So you can just write left join. Let me just put it this way. Left join. I will still say something around this that will just guide you going forward. Now, when you say left join, what is the meaning of left join? Left join returns all rows. Left join, it returns all rows from the left table, even if there is no matches in the right table. I repeat again, left join, it returns all rows from the left table, even if there is no matches in the right table. Now, let me try to just show you something here. I will copy this query. And I will paste it here. Now, we said it returns all rows from the left table, rows from the left tables, even if there is no matches in the right table. And when you hear matches, matches means correspond. So it means that if there is a particular row in a table that does not match with another row in that table, left join will still retrieve back for you to see. So that's the meaning of left join. Now, if you look at this diagram, Now, if you look at this diagram, you will see that we have table 1 and then we have table 2. And inside table 1, this one will pass for the left table and this will pass for the right table based on this diagram. Since we have table 1 and table 2, we have left and we have right. So we say these are table 1, these are table 2. Now, based on the definition that says it returns all rows from the left table. So it means that this particular table 1, all the rows inside this table 1, left join will return it back to you when you use left join. And then it now says again, if there is no matches in the right, then that so it will still return them in order for you to see. Peradventure, there is no matches. You know, when you say matches, I already said it the other time, correspond, that this row correspond to the details of this person. This row correspond to this column. This row correspond to this row. They matches each other. They match each other. So there is no problem with that data. It is a structured data. Now, when you now get to a situation whereby you have a table that does not correlate or that does not correspond with the row with another row in this table. In other words, when you have a table, which is the right table, that the information there, the row, doesn't correspond to what is even inside table 1. What is inside table 1? It will still return it to you. Then you'll be able to see that, okay, this is the row that does not match with other rows from the table or in the table. So that's left join. So when you apply your left join, so you'll be expecting to see all the row from the left table and the information on the right table. And I said even if there is no matches in the right table. So left join enables you to see this. So now, if let's come back to SQL and let me just put my left join here just for you to see something. Now, I applied my left join on this table. So if you are to go by the definition, it means it returns all rows from the left table based on the definition, even if there is no matches in the right table. So now if you look at my data, if you look at the nature of my data, is a structured data. It's not unstructured data, it's a structured data. So this kind of data, there is no row that does not match another row. It's a complete data. It's not that James that has ID1 is not matching with the date, just like that. That is not matching with the date or is not matching with the currency column row ID number 3 is not matching with the product you bought, rather is matching with phone, and phone is for another person. You know, there is a complication already. So when you now make use of your left join, and then you'll be able to see rows that you'll be able to see row that doesn't match with other rows in the table. So since this one is a structured data, since this one is a structured data, and then even after applying left join, since I have a structured data, well, I don't need to disturb my head. I don't need to disturb my brain too much. Since after applying left join, and this was what was returned, and then if I carry out my analysis, then I will carry out my analysis based on what was returned back to me. But if I find myself in a situation whereby I have unstructured data, I think you know the meaning of unstructured data. We've done that in Excel. Let's say I have the situation of unstructured data. It's unstructured data and it was sent to me to analyze it via SQL. And I was told to use left join. And then after joining the table, then go ahead to use, after using your primary key, then go ahead to use your left join. And then after using your left join, then what you see after applying your left join is what you are going to carry out your analysis on. I hope that is clear. So this is a structured data. This is a structured data. This is not unstructured data. So when you have a data that is unstructured and you have known the meaning of unstructured and you know the meaning of column that is not, that doesn't match with another column, or the row that doesn't match with another row, you've known the meaning. So that means that you'll be able to see more, able to have more insight, and then you'll be able to carry out your analysis based on what was based on what is retrieved for you to see. So, and that is that. Now, another one is right join. Right join. What is right join? It returns all rows from the right table. It returns all rows from the right table, even if there are no matches in the left table. Can you see the same definition, just little changes here? It returns all rows from the right table, even if there are no matches. You understand the meaning of match, right? Right? Even if there are no matches in the left table, even there are no matches in the left table. So if you look at this diagram again, we can also see something here. This is a right outer join. So what is the definition again? It returns all rows from the right table. So these are table 1 and these are table 2. So this will pass for the right table. So it will return all the information here. That rows can also pass for information. So it will return all the information here. And then it now says, even if there are no matches in the left table. So it means that on the second table that you join, if there are no matches on this particular table, in other words, you know, when you say matches, you have taught you the, I've explained matches. I'm just going back again. When you say if there are no matches on this table or from this table, it will still return them for you to see. For you to see. And don't forget, we are talking about information. Information. Information that doesn't match with another information, it will still return it back. That is right join. So it will return all the information, all the rows, all the information from the right table, even if there are no matches in the left table, and the other one vice versa. So if we come down to SQL again and I put my right join, and I say enter, now you will still see the same thing. Why? Simply because I have a structure data, and everything on my data, they all correspond to each other. So I don't have error on this data. I don't have an empty row except under this currency where you are seeing null, and I deliberately put that one there anyway. So in using your right join, it will also do the same thing. You will see the full information of your right join of the right table, and then the rows that does not match in the left table, it will still bring them out. But here we have a matching row. They correspond to each other. James shoe, PID, date, his currency, and then the primary key that we use to join. Mayor's phone, the same PID, the same two. So this is structured data. So when you want to make use of left joint and right join, that is how you will make use of them. But don't forget, left join, right join, full join, the left join, right join, full join is not what we normally use in SQL in codes. The most used is inner join, which we are going to look at this afternoon. Is inner join, inner join, inner join. That's the most used inner join. So, and that's what we are going to spend a whole lot of time on this afternoon. So, but maybe in the field, maybe if you are if peradventure you were told to use left join, right join, full join after joining your primary key, just come and put it in front of your join, and then anything you see, anything it returns, that's what you are going to carry out your analysis on. So you might be told to download, you might be told to import it to export it to Microsoft Excel and further the analysis. Are you hearing me now? So what they just want to say is that, okay, the information gotten from that table, what you use, what was used to get that information was right join, left join, full join, and then you carry out your analysis in Microsoft Excel. So let me just give you the definition of a full join. Full join combines the result of both left and outer join. It combines the information. So this is our full outer join. Table one, right table, and the left table. It will combine everything together. Are you getting me now? So, and don't forget this, that the seeing the effectiveness of all these join, left join, right join, and then full outer join will depend on the nature of the data you want to visualize. Sorry, the data you want to write query on. So your right join, your left join, and then the full outer join, they will depend on the structure of the data. Structure of the data. Don't forget I said inner join is what is mostly used. So right join, left join, full outer join. In fact, we also have cross join. We have cross join as well. All this will depend on the structure of your data. Do you get now? Okay, good. So let's move to inner join. The most used is inner join. The most used is inner join. And that's what we are looking at this afternoon. And that's where we are going to end today's training. So I'm going to put here, okay, let me use my comment this time. So let's move to inner join. Okay, so before we continue with inner join, I just want to ask, from what we did yesterday and what I've just done now, I just need few responses. Is it clear? Thank you. I need response.
Yes.
Okay, I want just 4 people. I have just heard one person. I want 4. Or people are not online.
Yes, it's clear.
2. I just need 4.
Yes, it's clear.
I need one more. Just
It's
one.
clear, sir. Continue.
All right, thank you. So now you can just mute yourself back. Now let's continue now. Now I want to move to inner join. And this time we are going to make use of a new database. So I'm going to get rid of this database. I'm no longer using this database again. We are done with it. So I'll come to a new database. I have my database here. And yeah, I have I think I have 7 tables here. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I have 7 tables. 7 tables. And these 7 tables is the table we want to join together. So if you look at my table, there is age, there is country, there is details. This is a table under information. We have age, country, details, gender, loyalty, period, and products. So these are 7 tables, and we want to join them together. Don't forget, what we are doing now is inner join. Now, if you look at these details, is the details of is the information of the salesperson. And then if you look at products, that will be continuation of details. The product that were sold. And then if you look at period, the time those products were sold. And then if you look at age, it means this represents the age of our salesperson. And then if you look at gender, this speaks of the gender of our salesperson. That's another table. And if you look at country, this speaks of their country and then their age. So you will see that this is a consistent data. Permits me to use that word. That is, they are related. The same details, the same information here, the same information here is also the same here, year, and year. Just that separate table, but a single information. That's why it is called relational database MySQL. So now we are going to look at 3 tables from here, and the other table we are joining them. You'll be able to have insights to the other tables. But we are going to look at the details, the period, and the product first. Then before moving to the age, the country, and the gender, and the loyalty. So details will be my main table for today's class.
This training was brought to you by Nikon Education Foundation. Kindly watch the next video to continue this lesson.